Mentioning that he thought it was strictly an effort, energy type thing today. I mean, when you beat them pretty soundly 2 weeks ago, they come out down here and lose the way you did today. Was it strictly energy? Is that?
Well, I thought what we talked about was, I wouldn't say necessarily energy. I thought it was energy from certain guys.
Yeah.
I thought, like I told our guys, there was times when we cared too much about our own self to where we're not concerned about the team output. And the things that I shared with the team was, and I started by talking about JJ. And the one thing I said to JJ, and I literally said to him, I said, we appreciate what you are doing for this program. I said, and a lot of guys in your situation would have checked out. A lot of guys may not have given the effort, but I've never questioned his fight for what he's trying to do for this program. I never questioned his fight for what he's trying to do for me as the head coach. But I said, I think we had a few guys that just a little concerned about themselves, to where, why am I not doing this? Why did he get to do that? And I'm saying, if you can just remove that and understand that, I don't care if it's basketball, I don't care if it's business, I don't care if it's life.
Yeah.
Like, if you're more concerned about what's going on with the next person, then you're not being able to do your job to the best of this ability. And I thought that's where some of the lack of energy came into play.
And defensively, Coach, I mean, they shot it well, but Camacho got off early. Then they started hitting, perimeter shots, and then it just kind of snowballed. Were they just knocking down shots, or was some of those guys, maybe not checked in defensively as well today?
No, I mean, just hearing the guys, I know there were times when because we do our kills stat, to where we had multiple times where we stopped them 3 or 4 times in a row. Where I thought, like again, what I explained to our guys was, there's times where Thompson is out on the floor and I'm saying, Thompson, that's a freshman mistake. I get it. There's time when I see it in TJ and I say, okay, that's a freshman mistake. Kind of conversely with the way their freshmen played at our place. And that was one of the things coming into the game was, guys, obviously when you're younger and you're a freshman, there's a comfort level when you're at home. I thought the supporting cast played a lot better this time around. While, Camacho still played well on the road against us, I thought Page was still solid. I just thought Bisselwood, I thought Edwards and number 3 Moore, I thought those guys were a lot better here and played with a lot more confidence. But I also thought their edge and energy was good, and even on the defensive end of the floor, physically breaking our guys off with cuts. So, one of the things I hit our guys with, and I told them at halftime, I was like, man, some of this stuff has nothing to do with coaching, guys. Like, pass and catch. Like, that's just basketball. That's just understanding how to play the game of basketball. But they did what they were supposed to do. You come back with probably a little bit more mustard and a little bit more energy after losing on the road in the border war, but they protected home.
With Jake and Hunter, I think they combined for 1 or 2 field goals today. I mean, I think JJ, Nick mentioned, it was accounted for like 93% of your offense or something. I mean, I don't imagine you're going to, even if your defense is decent, you're going to win many games getting that kind of production. Or lack of production.
I mean, you still got to think about pace at the end of the day. And when JJ is playing, and that's what I try to get these guys to understand. It's not like he had 29 tonight, I think 20-something. But I didn't look at him and say, man, that guy's out there playing selfish basketball. Whether it's passing the basketball, sometimes I thought he gave up some passes. I mean, shots to make the pass. Just unfortunate that, Jake didn't make shots. Thompson didn't make shots. Was every look that they got great looks? No, not great, but I thought they got good enough looks to where you're saying those are your 2 better shooters, that they got to be able to make those shots. Now, at the other spectrum, it's not, he's going into it. I mean, it's his senior year, and my thing was, man, we got 4 games left, man. Give us what you got, because we need his presence. There was a stint there where I thought he played well 3 or 4 games. The last couple, I don't know if he's been there for us. But like I told our guys, we're still dealing with these questions, man. We're still coming back to the same questions rather than moving on and saying, let's take a step as a program or you as a player take a step. And some, like I said, some of it is, yeah, okay, I get it, you're a freshman.
Yeah.
And then some of it is, no, you got to stop using that as an excuse of being a freshman or not being banged up or, you know, Jake, yeah, the tougher shots just because of how teams are going to play you. But, you know, like I said, JJ finds a way to figure it out. But yes, we would need those other guys to at least do something offensively. Even if we're great on the defensive end of the floor, they have to do something for us.
Yeah. You mentioned feeling like this has been a more manageable stretch down this stretch.
Yeah.
If you guys can play like like you're supposed to.
Yeah.
But is it when you're going through this season and you've got as many newcomers as you're trying to play?
Yeah.
Is it realistic to get them to exert that energy and have that focus every time out?
Well, I mean, I think that's the goal.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the only problem is I think you got to keep reinforcing the goal, especially with the younger guys. Like I've never questioned Jake's how hard he plays. Never questioned that. Never questioned Thompson. Never even really questioned TJ. But I do understand that even during a game, you have to consistently hit them with things of that nature, and also. What I think you run into sometimes is you're dealing with youthfulness, and then whether the game is going good or bad for you, it depends. I mean, the energy.
Yeah.
Like when we had them at our place, you would have walked away and say, "Man, that was great energy by our guys." Well, yeah, the score was saying it, but when you're dealing with youth and you're saying the score is not that way, now you're still trying to get those guys to play hard. And you think about last year. When we had a more veteran group, being down 10, being down 15 wasn't a big deal to those guys because not only I felt like we had enough offensive firepower, but we just had a little more experience as well.